I own a Yamaha Tenere 700 and tested the Kawasaki KLR650 for a week this past summer. I've taken both bikes on and off-road, tested them in all environments, and let me ruin the mystery for you right now. The Tenere 700 is a better motorcycle than the KLR650. It's better on and off-road, and the new one coming out for 2023 has further updates. Now there are a couple of advantages that the KLR has over the T7, the biggest being price. The point of this video is not to determine which bike is better, it's to determine whether the price difference between the two is proportionate to the difference in quality and performance. In other words, which is the better value, the higher performance, higher priced Yamaha or the most reasonably priced big adventure bike, the Kawasaki? For the answer to that question, stay tuned. And as always, if you're enjoying the content, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, liking the video, and sharing it with someone who might enjoy it. First, if this is a value comparison, what kind of value are we talking about? Well, Kawasaki just raised its prices on the KLR650, probably due to the rampant inflation in all markets right now. For 2023, the base KLR and the lower seat KLR650S cost $6,900 MSRP for the non-ABS model and $7,200 for ABS. The fully decked out adventure model with bags, engine guards, fog lamps, and extra outlets retails at $1,000 extra. The Canadian website lists the base KLR at $8,000 in non-ABS trim only, and the adventure model at $9,700 or $10,000 without and with ABS respectively. There's only one Tenere 700 model available right now listed as a 2022 and it has ABS that can be turned off, but the bike is getting several important updates for 2023 including a color TFT with phone connectivity, optional quick shifter, and an additional ABS mode. We don't have the 2023 prices yet, but the 2022 costs $10,300 in the States and $12,800 in Canada. Given the updates, expect a price hike on the Yamaha, but currently the KLR's prices are roughly 2/3 of the Tenere. The adventure version of the KLR gives you a whole bunch of accessories, but at least in the case of the bags, they are not the same quality as the admittedly more expensive Tenere accessories. To dress up a Tenere in bags, engine guards, fog lamps, and extra outlets would cost a lot more than the price difference between the standard KLR and the adventure model. But the bags on the Yamaha would be larger and aluminum instead of plastic. In the engine department, it's no contest. The Yamaha's 689cc 270-degree parallel twin engine puts out 72 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque to the Kawasaki's 651cc singles 40 horsepower and 40 torques, approximately. The Yamaha engine is smoother and spools up a lot faster than the Kawasaki, making the bike perform a lot better in every regard. You might think that a big single would do better off-road with its natural low-down torque and the inertia of the flywheel pulling the bike down rough off-road trails. You might think that, but you'd be wrong, as the Yamaha's CP2 engine outdoes the Kawasaki even here with its very impressive low-end torque. The engine is truly hard to stall on a trail and even up steep hills. Oh, and it sounds better. Sorry, but singles just can't match a lumpy P-twin with a 270-degree crank. Both bikes are fuel injected, but the Yamaha has 6 gears while the Kawasaki sticks to the tried and true 5. I won't lie, I like 6 better, but the Kawasaki's broad power band and relatively tall gearing feel fine, and I never really felt undergeared on trails or the highway. In terms of the brakes, the Kawasaki's single disc up front is adequate, but the Yamaha's dual disc Brembos are far superior in their bite, not to mention that they come with ABS which can be turned off with one button, while the Kawasaki is only available with or without ABS, so you have to choose your poison. Where do you want to be less safe, on or off-road? Additionally, it has just been announced that in 2023 the Yamaha will get a dedicated rear brake ABS off mode for those who still want the safety of front ABS but want to slide that rear wheel. The weight of the bikes is close, with the Tenere's wet weight coming in at 452 pounds full of gas and the KLR listed at 456 for non-ABS models and 461 for ABS. In fairness, this might seem like the KLR is heavier, but it also carries a lot more fuel, without which it's actually lighter. No matter, both bikes are tall and top heavy, but the Yamaha might be a bit more top heavy on the trail and its suspension sags less, making it taller. So there's the first point for the KLR. It actually feels a bit lighter and more manageable. Speaking of suspension, the pendulum swings back to Yamaha here with a fully adjustable shock, preload compression and rebound, and compression and rebound adjustable fork. The Kawasaki only gets preload in the back and is generally too softly sprung all around. In fairness, advanced riders have complained about the Tenere's soft springs, but I'm more of a traveler rather than a hard enduro guy. I weigh about 175 pounds and haven't found the suspension on the Tenere to be too soft. Additionally, Yamaha provided a handy preload knob on the shock which makes adjustment a cinch and completely tool-free. Both bikes have digital dashes, but as mentioned before, the 2023 Tenere is getting a new color TFT with a couple of appearance modes and phone connectivity, allowing you to check text and such while riding. Brilliant idea. The old LCD dash on my Tenere is fine, but techies will be happy about the new one. The Kawasaki dash is passable, but the lack of a gear indicator lags behind other bikes. Even my wife's 300 has one of those. The lack of a tachometer leaves you wondering if you somehow jumped back to 1986. So the Tenere has been having its way with the KLR so far, but when it comes to fuel capacity and range, the tables turn. The Tenere has a 16-liter fuel tank and on a good day will give me 300 kilometers. The KLR's tank takes 24 liters and makes it to 480 kilometers or more if you're easy on the throttle. For motorcycles that are often used for adventure touring, that's a huge difference, especially if you find yourself well out in the boonies where the distances between gas stations are large. The KLR can make it to places where the Tenere will need a Rotopax. In terms of comfort, I like the Tenere's spaced out seating position better. For a rider my height, 5'11" or 181 centimeters tall, the KLR's bar felt a bit close while the Tenere is just right. Legroom is good on both bikes and the KLR's seat is a bit more comfortable than the Tenere's stock plank. Wind protection is better on the KLR650 as the bike is wider and has an adjustable windscreen, though adjusting it requires tools. In the standing position, the Yamaha is far more comfortable and easier to ride due to its slimmer tank. The KLR is mostly a sit-down bike. More on that later. The Tenere is slightly taller with a 34.4-inch seat height compared to the KLR's almost identical but wider 34.3. However, because the Tenere's suspension is stiffer, it doesn't sag as much with the rider sitting on it, and therefore the Yamaha effectively sits taller. The Tenere comes with an optional lowering kit, while the KLR is now available in S trim with a much more reasonable 32.1-inch seat, but presumably reduced ground clearance. Looks-wise, the KLR is decent looking, though not as cool as the Gen 1 model. However, in the looks department, the Dakar-styled Yamaha is the clear winner. When the prototype first came out, rally racer wannabes started drooling, and fortunately for all, the production model did not change much. On the highway, the two bikes have different strengths. Both can cruise fairly fast, though the Yamaha is faster. The Kawasaki will go longer on its bigger tank, and the more comfortable seat and better wind protection will encourage you to ride further. However, if you want to pass a semi quickly, the Yamaha has a lot more power and better brakes if you need to stop in an emergency. The passing power also makes the Yamaha a better companion on the two-lane, as a quick pass requires less planning ahead. In the twisties, the Yamaha's power and far superior suspension keep it better composed and railing the turns. The KLR will get you there, but in a decidedly less sporty fashion. Sportiness is less important when you're riding two up, and here is another area where the KLR beats the Tenere. Its seat is wider, longer, and much more comfortable. We found the bike roomy and relaxing for a two-up cruise. Off-road, both bikes are quite capable. The KLR eats up gravel and dirt roads no problem, and will even do single-track trails on which much more expensive bikes like the Africa Twin struggle. However, here's where the huge tank and two closed bars are a detriment. My instinct in such places is to stand on the pegs, and the KLR's ergonomics make that awkward. The tank is too wide, the bars too low and close, and the rubber-mounted pegs too squishy to provide proper feedback. After a while of trying, I just decided to ride sitting, which was bumpier and slower but surprisingly effective. The KLR's squishy suspension and limited ground clearance caused the engine guards to bounce off a few rocks, but that's what the engine guards are for, and the bike made it through the rough stuff without incident and with very little drama. However, the Tenere proved to be the far superior off-road weapon. It's slim, the ergonomics are set up like a dirt bike and are much better for standing. The superior suspension allows for higher speeds and more precise steering over the rough stuff. Yes, it's top heavy, but as long as you're rolling, you don't notice. It still bounces its bash plate off the occasional rock, but less than the KLR, and you don't have to be Paul Taurus to surprise yourself with the terrain you can cross on it. So the Tenere 700 is clearly superior to the KLR in power, sound, on and off-road sportiness, technology, though these are both simple bikes, and looks. The KLR is a bit more comfy, especially for two-up riding, and has far superior range. So is it about 2/3 the bike of the Yamaha as the price suggests? Well, it depends what kind of rider you are. If you're getting a bike strictly for travel and you just want to get there on a no-frills machine, get the KLR650. It really will do the same things that other much more expensive adventure motorcycles do, just not as quickly. Some things like going off-road, it will do surprisingly better than far more expensive bikes. However, if you're looking for fun and performance for a higher yet still reasonable price, the Tenere 700 is popular for a reason. It's given me no cause to dislike it, and I'll continue to sing its praises until someone comes out with a reasonably priced 450cc reliable 350-pound rally replica. Then all bets are off. Hopefully Yamaha or Honda heed my call. As for the Tenere versus KLR value proposition, I made my choice. This is my bike. But I can't hate on the KLR given how much bike it is for how little it costs. I guess that's a price Kawasaki can charge for a bike whose R&D costs were paid back in the 80s. Honestly, for a round the world trip, I'd take the KLR. However, for local riding, the Yamaha is more fun. Dollar to bike ratio, these are two of the best value adventure bikes out there, with a few others like the Royal Enfield Himalayan also sprinkled in. Which one do you think is the better deal, and which one would you pay your hard-earned money to ride? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and adventure on!
If you're interested in any of the gear that Brooke and I wear or use, or the camera equipment we use to film this channel, the links are below. Everything listed there was bought with our own money, and we are not sponsored by any company. However, the links below are affiliate links, and the channel is paid a small amount for referring you to shop at no additional cost to you. We do not recommend any products that we are not satisfied with ourselves, but we do strongly urge you to do your research and select the correct size for items like helmets and clothing. As always, thanks for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. Please hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. And whatever you ride, enjoy it. Wave at other bikers no matter what they're riding. We're all part of a brotherhood and sisterhood. Keep the rubber side down, shiny side up, and may the spokes be with you.